multi-year project, at least a 10-year project, multi-stage project. When people ask me where's DSH, phase 1 has been completed. It's a multi-year project. It's not everything is not going to be done in 5 years. You know, when we see the redevelopment of cash trees, all of these things take time. Phase 1 has been done, or part of phase 1, the cash trees market. There are plans for the courts of justice, the halls of justice, the new police headquarters, and so on. It's not going to be, everything is not going to be achieved in 5 years, but so much has been accomplished in these 5 years. You know? No, but
we're finally on. We're finally
wonderful.
on.
Wonderful.
So you could send that out. I'm going to have to.
I'm just seeing
Good morning,
that now.
folks. Those of you who have been querying, we're back on now on GVD TV, channel 115, and we're also on Facebook. I'll put the links up on the Sky FM Facebook page, keeping it real as well. But as usual, we're still here on FM and on the online stream. Good morning to all of you in the diaspora, in Colombia, in Barbados, in Puerto Rico, in Antigua, in Jamaica, in Trinidad, USA, Canada, the UK, and everybody else out there. Good morning, and the numbers are rising and rising. The final regular episode of the morning edition of Keeping It Real before elections, 3 days to go. And we'll hold off on the calls for just a little bit while Minerva gets through her thing here and I can continue.
Yes. Right. So, no, but I was saying, having the political will to move on projects, to do things, and not even the political will to insist that St. Lucians become economically empowered and not just give them mere handouts. Because no, but we know as a country, just simply giving people handouts is not good. It's not productive for us as a country. It does not help St. Lucians. It doesn't help us as a country. So what he does is instead to create an able environment for employment and entrepreneurship. He gets people out of poverty and dependency, teaches them how to fish rather than simply giving them a fish. We've had positive GDP growth for every year of this term except for 2020, of course, because of COVID. We look at how he's handled the whole COVID situation, the response to COVID, the respiratory hospital to respond to COVID, you know, ensuring that for 3 months that people had income support. No, but I mean, this government has performed overall. We look at the health situation. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but we've come a long way. The opening of OKEU Hospital, no, but the near finishing of St. Jude's Hospital. And St. Jude's Hospital is going to be a world-class hospital. It is not the tea boutique little hotel, not little hospital that the Labour Party was building in Viewfort. It is going to be a world-class hospital. I keep saying hotel. Hospital. 15% bigger than OKEU. State of the art. So yes, it will take some time, but it's nearing completion. No, but I mean, when we see the number of businesses that have opened, when we see the economy rebounding, even COVID has not finished yet, but we see the economy rebounding already. We see things opening up. We see people back to work. We see a major infrastructure and capital works program of this government. Remember, we see this Prime Minister who does things world class. I mean, this government has performed. Reduced unemployment significantly and youth unemployment. This government has performed. When you compare the record of performance of the Labour Party versus this government has performed, undoubtedly. Yes, Norbert. We can take some calls if you want to.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, this elections is an application for a job.
Absolutely.
And it's just like going in after having submitted your resume. And if you want to call the resume, if you want to make the analogy of the manifesto as your resume. But that is rather limited in itself because anybody could type up anything.
Exactly.
You know, just like in relationships or whatever, somebody tell you, well, I like cooking, I like hiking, I like doing all of this. But you still have to look at the performance.
Well, absolutely.
And the performance is the past. You go look for a job, you go to that interview, and there you put your references, where you've worked before,
Yep.
or who your character witnesses are, and the people or the entity, the company, where you're applying for that job will more than likely, depending on the seriousness of the job, contact your references.
Absolutely.
And the references for the job in this elections is the people. But you have to do your investigation. And the investigation is looking at the information available, the evidence, which is testimony, which cannot be changed now, of the person applying for the job, the applicant. And the applicants in this case are two. It's the UWP, United Workers' Party, and the SLP, the St. Lucia Labour Party. And that applicant has a crew. So you have to do the background check on all of the crew, just like CIP. Well, the crew in this case is, or are, the candidates. That's the crew who coming to work for the United Workers' Party government or the St. Lucia Labour Party government. That's the crews that they have, and they put them up. So you now have to look into whether that crew can deliver, whether they have a record of delivering. And it's simple, it's easy. The SLP crew had a very similar job, in fact the same job, from 2011, late 2011 to 2016, mid 2016. And the United Workers' Party crew were in office in 2016 to just last month. So now we have to examine their performance. What was the performance for job creation? How did the economy perform? Was St. Lucia moving forward? Was the economy growing? Or were we in decline? Were we in a depression? You don't have to go for all the fluff and bluff. Because whatever they're saying to you out there right now has already been done. All the meetings are just to convince you, hey, I'm the one. You know, it's like dating. Going out on a date, you buy lollipop, ou mette lollipop on bouche li. Minerva knows all about that. You put a lollipop in their mouth, you buy a cake, you take them to dinner, you know, you go to the beach, you go to a picnic, you take them to jazz. That's what's being done. That's all part of the process in trying to convince you. But ultimately, the biggest part of it all is the performance. Absolutely. The consistency of performance. Have they been able to keep it going for the 5 years? And with all the information that Minerva put out there a while ago, all the evidence, you still have to pay attention to that and not be fooled by the lollipop and the cheesecake and the going to the movies and all of that. All the sweet talks.
Exactly.
As we say in St. Lucia. All the sweet talks. And all the malpale. Oh, mate not good, man. Mate have 2 children. Mate have 5 women. Laisse pas voir mati yo ka mati. Adan yo. Mati yo ka mati. Oh, mate not good. Oh, he don't take care of his children. All lies. That's why you have to pay attention to what's going on. And you have to be informed. That is your responsibility. Because, hear this now, if you don't do your due diligence, your relationship will not work. You'll be in Twaka, and instead of getting the lover that you thought you had with all the sweet talks, what did Leclerc say a while ago with his sweet talks to you? His heart is blushing. Mama! Oi, 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 oi. So instead of going for all the sweet talks when you think everything is oh so nice and hunky-dory, and not paying attention, not doing your due diligence, not conducting your due diligence, what do you end up with? An abuser. Say, "Ko an bodao." Whoa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Say, "Ko."
No, but you're so right about paying attention and assessing, not listening to sweet words. No, but we talk about a resume all the time. Anybody can pad their resume. Anybody can write anything down on a piece of paper. You know, anybody can do that. Anybody can make you promises. What is their record? Let's go back and look at their record. Labour Party was in office not too long ago. Just 5 years ago, they were in office. Let us look at their record versus this government's record of achievement. Let us look at what they're saying to St. Lucians now and assess it. Are they capable of doing it? Does it make sense? What is their record versus what they are promising now? Are they able to deliver it? Are they coming with anything new? Is there leadership to execute what they're coming with? Leadership, Norbert. Leadership. Leadership. Does Labour Party have the leadership?
You know,
Does
saying that
does Philippe have what it takes?
saying that reminds me of 7982, when a lot of the captions all over the place was "lead a sheep struggle," and I remember a meme that was out, a political cartoon, some art, where you had somebody leading a sheep. They had a rope around the neck, and they call it a "lead a sheep struggle."
No, but you know, this is a critical moment in time for St. Lucia. Critical. Because what the Labour Party is offering to St. Lucians is a team of 15 plus 2 candidates. 15 plus 2. Not 17. 15 plus 2. And who are the two? First of all, let's look at who's the 15. You have Philippe Pierre, who's the leader of the Labour Party. And no, but we know that Philippe Pierre is not a leader. Philippe Pierre has always been a deputy. Philippe Pierre does not have what it takes to be the Prime Minister of the country. Let's keep it real. He does not. Philippe Pierre does not have the vision. He doesn't have the ability to move St. Lucia forward. He does not have the international exposure. He doesn't have the international contacts. He doesn't have the wherewithal to do it. Philippe Pierre believes he is entitled to be Prime Minister by virtue of the fact he's been in Parliament for 25 years.
Yep.
But what has he done in Parliament in 25 years?
How has he differentiated himself?
Of his constituency.
How has he differentiated himself?
It's simply not there. He believes he's entitled to be Prime Minister of St. Lucia by virtue of the fact that he's a black man. So what? He's entitled to be Prime Minister by virtue of the fact that he has never left St. Lucia. So what? He's entitled to be Prime Minister by virtue of the fact that he only has one passport. How is that? How do these things qualify you to be Prime Minister? That's not what qualifies you to be Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Philippe, let's keep it real, people. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter if you're a Labour Party supporter, just sit and ask yourself, seriously, are you going to elect Philippe as a Prime Minister of St. Lucia? No, seriously. I'm not saying the man is not a decent man. I think he's a decent man. But are you going to elect Philippe as the Prime Minister of St. Lucia? This is not about the leadership of the Labour Party. This is for the Prime Ministership of St. Lucia for the next 5 years. Are we going to do that? Then you have a Kenny Anthony. Kenny Anthony is obviously tired. He's obviously tired.
In every sense of the word.
In every sense of the word. He was tired in his last term. But Kenny Anthony was tired in his last term. You saw it. You saw a lack of ideas. You saw a lack of vision. It's almost like he had given up. Really and truly, with all due respect to Kenny Anthony, I don't know why he didn't retire in the last 5 years and hand over that seat to let somebody else
Well,
run.
that's not the high he wanted to leave on. That's not the high he wanted to leave on. What's his legacy going to be now? Take licks under Herman Gill?
Yeah, exactly. Then look at the rest of the team. I mean, who there has the substance or the essence or the whatever it takes to drive the country? Sean Edwards? Ernest Sule? Alva? No, seriously, look at the team.
You know, it's very strange. Hold on a second, Hold on a second, Minerva. It's very strange that in all of this, and however inept or unsuited people may think that any of those names you called are, to lead it all and be prime minister, if they get in, never do you hear the word Moses Jean-Baptiste called in that scheme of things, in
I
that
even
type of
forgot Moses.
conversation. Never.
I even forgot him.
It's rather
I
interesting.
forgot Moses. Yeah. But so going to the 15 plus 2, and let's look at the two that they're asking St. Lucians to vote for, to string together a team to allow them to get into office. Because I keep saying Labour Party does not see a path to victory in this election, but they're hoping that it would be close and that these two, quote unquote, independent candidates, which we know they're not, they're hoping that if they win their seats, they can come across to their side.
I think that's
That's what I'm
very
hoping
obvious.
for.
I think it's, in fact, I think the level of doubt that that scenario is actually what it has been worked on, has been planned. I think most people are convinced, especially with the statement that Philip JPM, the oops statement
The one
that
had to
Philip
backtrack from?
Japed at Moshi, but there's no backtracking from that. The man
Exactly, there's no backtracking.
gave supportive information
Absolutely.
to make
You
his
repeated it
statement
3 times.
credible.
Absolutely.
I think
But
he
no,
was
but
fishing for
that-
something to say and thought that, you know what, I'm going to stick it to them now. Yes, he was, so anxious, so
Yes. No, but that
excited.
scenario is the scariest thing. That scenario is the scariest thing since 1979. What the Labour Party is offering to St. Lucians as their solution to government now is the scariest thing since 1979. The Labour Party is basically presenting to us a leadership struggle in the making. That's what they're presenting to us. We see it coming, St. Lucians. Open your eyes. It is very obvious what that scenario will do in St. Lucia. Put on your thinking caps. It's obvious what's coming. Nobody's like you interviewing a candidate for a job and you see the red flags, and you ignore it. You still hire the person. You give them a chance.
You hope.
And exactly what the red flags were comes to fruition. Exactly what it is. Will come to fruition. No, but the red flags are staring us in the face.
It's just like
Let's say a
you
scenario.
see, you just see a little vap. Take the person, the boyfriend there. You see the vap whilst you dating. Saki fet la. Or you see the woman get a vap. Ebe ka spend tout la hain a sou make-up. Ebe fo chive. Ebe zong.
Let's say we
And
have
you
to.
always want money for food.
Let's use a scenario where they have to string together a government to get into power. Just to get into power. That they have to bring these two, quote-unquote, independents to their side to get into power. Who is going to be the prime minister under that coalition of misfits? Arrangements. Governance by deal making, I call it. That is a government by deal making. Deals that were made under the cover of darkness that we
under the
St.
cover
Lucians do not know
of
about.
curfew. Under the cover of
Absolutely.
curfew.
Absolutely. Government by deal making. That's what the Labour Party is offering St. Lucians.
Yep.
Deals that we have no clue what is it about. Will you be prime minister for 6 months? Will somebody else be prime minister and give somebody else a chance for 6 months? But this is not a turn game. This is not something, prime ministership of St. Lucia is not something you take turns about. But what is the deal that the Labour Party struck with Stephenson King and with Richard Frederick? What is the solution? What is the function? What is the equation that they're offering to St. Lucians for being in government?
But hold on.
Who is going to be the prime minister?
Hold on, something just came to mind. Stephenson King said that he's willing to work in a coalition government. Right? Coalition. And Philip Japed said that they were leaving strategic space. So if you leave strategic space, it means that people are going to move into that space. But what neither of them have said, neither has said, is what is their role going to be in that so-called coalition.
Exactly.
What's your role going to be in the... What is Philip Japed's role going to be in the coalition? What is Stephenson King's role going to be in the coalition? What is the independent Labour's role going to be in the strategic space that was left for what? For the independent to enter. So when you enter the space, where you come in into the scheme of things? Because if you leave strategic space and you do not field your own candidate, it means that for you to win, those who are occupying the strategic space that you left will be joining you. That's
Absolutely.
all it is. So all of the fluff on the BS, the 3Bs principle, that is the classic example of the 3Bs principle right there from Philip Japed. Bullshit baffles brains. That's what it is. You leave strategic space. If you leave space, you live in that space without feeling your own candidate. You're leaving space
Absolutely.
for the so-called independents to move into. And if you want to form a coalition with them, what are the roles going to be? You see how he tie up himself?
No, but look at the characters he's leaving strategic space for. Stephenson King,
Gosh.
a man just like Philip Pierre. Stephenson King is just like Philip Pierre. He believes that they are entitled to be prime minister by virtue of long tenure.
Tell it.
Not by being able to win an election, because Stephenson King has not been able to win an election. Stephenson King is another old school politician like Philip Pierre, stuck in the past, stuck in an era long gone, that believe that leadership, a prime ministership, should be handed to them. You know, that Stephenson King believes that Sir John Compton should have left him the leadership. I don't know when if St. Lucia is a monarchy where it's passed on to people. I don't know since when St. Lucia is that. You know, as if leadership, prime ministership is grandfathered or it's owed to him. Stephenson King believes that. You know, when you have people like the Comptons coming out and say they endorse him, and by virtue of them being Comptons, as if somehow they can pass on the prime ministership of the country to them. Since when St. Lucia is a monarchy that we pass on leadership, we elect our leaders. We don't. No, Janice Compton or Janine Compton or nobody else can decide who's the prime minister of the country. They can bequeath it to Stephenson King. So he's another old school politician that he believes that he's owed the prime ministership of the country. But he had the opportunity to win it and he did not. He did not win the prime ministership of the country.
Not only that.
But he's another one who believes he deserves it. One second, Robert. So you have Stephenson King, who's been mad as hell since he lost the leadership to Alan Chasney, who's been walking around with ants in his pants, mad, you know, unhappy, like a toddler who can't get their way and they're mad. They just, you know, they're not participating, their mouth long, they throw in their toys. That's how he's been behaving for the last 5 years, not showing up, not participating in government,
blocking stuff,
tablets,
blocking stuff, retarding progress.
Blocking stuff.
Let's keep it real.
Projects of the government, frustrating the agenda of the government. That's what Stephenson King sat in government and behaved like that. It's now coming out. Blocking projects, even working his own constituency, which he had the money to do, he did not do. That's why his constituency is in a mess that it is today. And I'll come to that in a second. But that's what. So this you have one character in the coalition who believes entitled to be prime minister. That's Stephenson King. Then you have another one, the independent Labour, who the Labour Party told us that there are very serious reasons the US would revoke a personal and diplomatic visa of a sitting government minister. The Labour Party told us what these reasons were. The Labour Party told us that the Americans were coming to get Richard Frederick. The Labour Party told us that. And today the Labour Party is asking St. Lucians to elect this same man to be part of their coalition. Seriously, the Labour Party, which told us that this person should never sit in the Parliament of St. Lucia, never sit in the Parliament of St. Lucia, is today asking us to elect this person to be part of their coalition.
That they've left strategic space for him.
No, but this is a very scary scenario. Then you have Philip Pierre, who we know is a weak leader, just like Stevenson King is a weak leader. That's why Richard Frederick was doing what he wanted with him back prior to 2011. We have a man who's a weak leader, who's political leader of the Labour Party. What's going to happen when there's a coalition of them and Stevenson King, who believes that he's also entitled to be Prime Minister, and somebody like Richard Frederick, who's basically been carrying the Labour Party for the last 5 years? Not carrying in a good way, as far as I'm concerned. He should have never been the face of the Labour Party or the voice of the Labour Party. He should never have been.
They have been hiding behind him and using him at the front.
They have been hiding, absolutely hiding behind Richard Frederick. He has imposed himself on the Labour Party and made himself the face of the Labour Party.
And they've been terrified.
The voice of the Labour Party.
They've been
and
terrified.
They don't know what to do with him. They don't know what to do with him. They cannot endorse him. They do not want to bring him on their own team. But they want St. Lucians to vote for him. Y'all don't want him, and y'all want St. Lucians to want him. Labour Party, y'all don't want
That's
him.
the insult to people's intelligence.
But y'all want St. Lucians to want him and to come and vote for him. Labour Party, you come and
but hold on.
St. Lucians like that?
What did Philip JPS say? That they're leaving strategic space for people of like mind?
Where's the like mind?
I mean, is this a cruel joke on the people of... That's the 3B's... Bullshit baffles brains. That's the same thing again.
No,
I mean, is this a cruel joke with those guys?
But what is a like mind between Richard Frederick and the Labour Party?
But if he's such a like mind, why didn't they take him?
Thank you.
I mean, this is the bluff of these guys.
These guys have the only like mind, the only thing in common Richard Frederick has is and the Labour Party: desperation and an obsession with Alan Chastney, an obsession, a personal vendetta against Alan Chastney. That is the only like mind. It has nothing to do with performance in government, because this government's performance in government is solid. It is solid. Have we made some mistakes? Yes. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. Have we achieved everything we wanted to do in 5 years? No. It's impossible to do that. But this government has performed. It has performed. And the record is solid. The plans for St. Lucia are solid. The vision for St. Lucia are solid. And not just plans and vision. We have seen the execution of a lot of it already. But everything cannot be done in 5 years. So what are these guys offering? What is the like minds between that team, that bunch of misfits? What is the like minds? And now you see all kind of crabs coming out of their holes in the last week to endorse these guys.
Talking about the crabs.
I can make crab pilawa or crab and
Callaloo, that's right.
So many
crab and
crabs.
callaloo, man. But let me tell you something. Talking about crabs. Yesterday I said it was more than crabs. That were crabs and snakes and mongoose coming out. But you know, it's as if when people move over or get involved with the Kool-Aid squad, that they give them something to drink. They pass, as we say in St. Lucia, they pass something in their face. Or whatever it is. I don't know, you buy po bwe. Ebe baila you buy po fotea. Isam yo bwe. Because the king snake, in making his move, you make your move. I may disagree with you or whatever, you make your move. Has been throwing out all of this innuendo. And I just want you to think, folks. You know, some people just want you to get hooked on the drug of emotion. But when you really look at it, the substance of it, where is the evidence? Oh, this government disrespected me. He hasn't mentioned one instance where he has disrespected. Oh, this government is corrupt, and people should go to jail. He has not mentioned one instance of corruption. One instance that is substantiated with evidence. Anybody can talk about corruption. Anybody can say what they want. Give me the evidence. And that is where a lot of people in St. Lucia get in trouble, or where they sound like fools, because they just keep repeating innuendo and nonsense, roro, malpale, propaganda. And when
That
you
is
end up in
straight
the
from the
courts,
Labour Party playbook.
but when
That
you
is
end up in
straight
the
from the
courts,
Labour Party playbook.
that's why a lot of people, and being a police officer, I saw that a lot. People have all kind of things to say about this person and that person. And when the case really ends up in court and the real evidence comes out, you realize that the majority of the nonsense that you were hearing out there is just pappy show. But Stevenson King, the king snake, because his move is considered to have been treacherous as a snake, has been making the rounds, the circuit, the talk show circuit. And the man in the past week and a half has been on more talk shows and more interviews than he has been, or than he had been, in the whole past 5 years in 1 week and a half. In the whole week and a half and the previous term in office. It's amazing. And he's talking about corruption and all of that. But he's listened to what he said, you know. I mean, a man indicting himself. I mean, this is the most ridiculous nonsense I've ever heard. Oh, Cambridge Analytica is here. Cambridge Analytica is here. And they were paid. Well, the tourism authority fall down in his dada. And if the first payment was from the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. Where's the evidence of that? Just because you say so? How much were they paid? What were they paid for? And he said specifically, Cambridge Analytica. We know where he's going with that. That's a whole load of baloney that was pushed by the SLP. So now he's joined the bandwagon. He's jumped on it. But not only that, folks, he said Cambridge Analytica is here. And then people from the SLP side, the Hakalaks and the has-beens, saying they have Russians and their whole hair, you know, all kind of stupidity.
Let me talk about it for a second.
Hold on. Let me finish that point there.
Go on.
Talking about Russians and Papi show. Not a shred of evidence. Right? I don't know if they're talking about Igor Burzensky, whoever the hell that is, or Vladimir Rostovsky. But not only that, then he goes on to say, I mean, this is the most asinine thing I ever heard in myself. After trying to indict this current government, and even worse yet, after trying to indict this government by the totally fictitious Cambridge Analytica bogeyman, he then goes on to say that in 2011 they were here too, idiot. You were prime minister. Dang nammit. I mean, how idiotic can you be? I mean, so the man saying it's a bad thing, that's what he's saying, because this government has Cambridge Analytica here. And then he says, Cambridge Analytica were here in 2011. My gosh, man, you were the leader of the party and you were the prime minister. Jesus Christ.
There's this narrative, and it's coordinated.
Hold on. Don't jump we have all morning.
Lana, I want to get in there, man.
We have whole morning, but hold on. You see, when you join the Kool-Aid squad, you get dotish. Or even more dotish. Ask the Kool-Aid squad about dotish. They're the ones that call him dotish. They call him uneducated. They said he didn't have any certificate. The only certificate he had was a birth certificate. Tell me I lie. But what is even more idiotic about the whole Cambridge Analytica thing, I'm going to look it up here and tell you. Cambridge Analytica went defunct because of all the Roro and everything that had been surrounding them. On May the 1st, 2018, Cambridge Analytica does not exist anymore, Stevenson King.
No, but I'm jumping in here. And I want to
You see the BS that these guys push on people? The BS?
No, but that is the Labour Party playbook 101. No, but I told you 3 or 4 months ago, when I was in the Arctic, wait for it. The Labour Party and Richard Frederick are going to come with allegations, all kinds of unfounded, baseless allegations of corruption. While this government's term has been almost virtually free of allegations of corruption, in the absence of being able to communicate, to put together a coherent message for the electorate, in the desperation, I said to you, the Labour Party, watch it, they're going to come with all kinds of things of corruption. That's what they're going to come with. And so said, so done. But nothing they have been able to, nothing they have put out there has been able to prove corruption in any way, form, or fashion. But typical of the Labour Party, what they do is to throw around the word corruption enough, and they know it will stick. No, but because the electorate, their facts have not been presented. The information is not there. It's simply not there. There's no evidence of it. But what they do, they come and wave some papers in the media. Richard Frederick comes with some letters leaked, which prove nothing, which have been explained to infinitum, which proves nothing, but they throw out the words corruption. Guy is corrupt. This one is corrupt. That one is corrupt. That is what they do. And their followers take it and run with it. They take it and run with it. The typical of the Labour Party now, but they throw out stuff and they know it's going to stick. At least with some. With no assessment, no analyzing for themselves. No, but they have done the same thing with me. Just create lies, repeat it enough, and then you see people running with it. Then you see the stickability of it. That is typical of the Labour Party. That is what they do. So now, they've created this new thing on the eve of the election, which is such a shame to see the people involved in this. So it's such a shame to see people like Claudius Francis involved in this narrative. Claudius used to be on the Electoral Commission. You have Claudius Francis, Richard Frederick, Stephenson King in a well-coordinated narrative as if the government is trying to steal the election. No, but that makes no sense. But you know the disappointing part for me about Claudius Francis? No, but narratives like that, what they do is undermine the integrity of your election process. Baselessly. And if you undermine the integrity of your election process, you undermine the integrity of our own democracy. That's what you're doing. That's what they're doing there. And a man like Claudius Francis, forget the politicians, forget Stephenson King, forget Richard Frederick, they can run off with whatever narrative they choose to in their desperation. A man like Claudius Francis, I was very disappointed with him, who sat on the Electoral Commission, who was the past president of the Senate, to be running with a narrative like that, baselessly. Baselessly. Disappointing. Because at the end of the day, people have to have trust in the integrity of our elections. Our election process is the fundamental basis of our democracy. When you're running for a narrative like that with no basis, what do you expect to happen? But no, but they're behaving like Trump. When Trump saw that he was going to lose the election, that was the narrative he was pushing, that the election was going to be stolen. No basis. Cambridge Analytica is here. Nonsense. Cambridge Analytica no longer exists. They've been defunct since 2018. Cambridge Analytica is here.
Hold on there. You know, Steve deserves this. Okay? He deserves it. And this is what he gets for that ridiculous statement. We know we need quite a few flushes with him. But you know, I mean, seriously,
no, but
you go out, I mean, you see, that is the desperation. And you know, that should be the indictment right there. Because
authorities had paid for them. It's authority had to come and demurty him. Now I see why the Labour Party used to call him King Liar. But now I see why the Labour Party call him King Liar.
But look at this.
King Liar.
In the desperation, and that is what discounts everything that he says, and should make anyone listening to anything that he says fact check and double check and triple check and quadruple check anything that he says. In fact, I suggest that you totally disregard everything that Stephenson King says. Because
If
number
Stephen
one,
King can lie about that,
hold
what
on,
won't he lie about?
hold
Or
on.
what has he lied about?
It's not only that.
If the man could say Cambridge Analytica, a company that no longer exists, is here, being paid for by the Tourism Association, what else has he lied about? King liar,
Well,
as the
well,
Labour Party rightfully
well.
called you.
And the tourism authority ain't pay anything, so that's another lie. Lie, that's a lie. You lie. I mean, seriously. And then you expect anything that this man has said. And you see, you have to ask yourself, you have to question the motivation. The motivation. Because the motivation in the move was to inflict as much damage as possible on the United Workers' Party, as close to elections as possible. And even in moving out, he has continued in that same vein. And he has been discovered now with the blatant untruth that this government has Cambridge Analytica here. And that the tourism authority, I mean, seriously? That the tourism authority, and I think they need to take him up on that even more vigorously than just a press statement. Where is your evidence of that? The tourism authority paid Cambridge Analytica. And then, out of the most idiotic thinking that you can ever have, after making that statement, oh, you thought he would have left it there. But in a mad desire to sink the government, he continues and says, even in 2011, Cambridge Analytica was here, not realizing that he was the leader of the party and he was the dang Prime Minister of St. Lucia in 2011, indicting himself.
No, but you see, the thing that
My
I say
gosh.
it all the time. I say it all the time. Listen carefully to the things people accuse you of, because they're speaking their truth.
Jeez.
Just listen carefully to the things they accuse you of. They are speaking their truth because people judge you by their own standards. So what King is saying is stuff he has actually done. What Richard Frederick is saying is stuff he has actually done. And speaking of Richard Frederick did a live talking about how they're going to steal the election. They're going to steal the election. No, but let me tell you, I understand Labour Party and what they do. All of this is very well coordinated. That narrative that Claudius Francis, Stephenson King, Richard Frederick are running with, very coordinated. This talk about stealing the election, baselessly. Richard Frederick did this live talking about how they're going to steal the election. There are people here, man, and we have to be careful. I have warned my agents to monitor the boxes. Everybody that comes in to take notes of their names, to make sure the box is empty. No, but
that's general procedure anyway. Just
no,
general
but listen
procedure.
to me. I've worked as a presiding officer for elections, and I can tell you that is general procedure, period.
Yeah.
The box is open and checked in the presence of
Everybody.
every single person there. The poll clerk, the assistant poll clerk, all the agents for all the parties in their presence. The ballots are numbered. There's a counterfoil to them. You have to present the ballot with the initials of the poll clerk or the presiding officer before it goes in the box. Everybody sees every single ballot that goes into that box. Everybody sees it. The process is very open, very transparent, but very clear. Everybody who comes in and vote, their names are announced. Everybody has an opportunity to write it down.
Ask Claudius Francis about that.
The votes are checked in the presence of everybody, including the agents. There is no opportunity within the polling station to manipulate the elections or the ballot. There's none. I have worked as a presiding officer, and there is none. So this thing, Richard Cumliffe, you have to I've instructed my agents to double check the box, make sure the box, as if somebody's going to pad the box with ballots. That does not happen. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. The same number of ballots that the presiding officer gives out are the same number of ballots that go into the box that are checked. Every single one of them has a counterfoil. At the end of the night, there are so many checks and balances with the voting system within the voting booth and within the polling division. That is impossible to steal an election, to pad the box. So, when I hear these guys talking this nonsense and people running with it, the Labour Party supporters running with, oh my God, they're going to steal the election. They want to steal the election. They're preventing observers from coming and monitor the election. Totally baseless, no, but there's been no attempt on the government to prevent observers from coming to monitor the election. As a matter of fact, they have been welcomed as they have every single election. This is nothing new. Why would the government want to come and prevent observers from monitoring the election? Let them come. Let them come and examine the process. Because at the end of the day, we have to ensure that our process is transparent and the integrity of our process is there. Because otherwise, people will doubt the outcome of the elections, which is what they're trying to do. True Donald Trump style, in true Donald Trump fashion, trying to undermine the integrity of the elections even before the poll has been
These
done.
fellas watching
Because
too
they
much
know
TV.
what is coming for them.
They're watching too much
They're watching
TV.
too much of Donald Trump. I'm so disappointed in these
You
guys.
see why they
People
tell
should know
you?
better
You
than
see
to
why they
honest.
tell you to be very careful about what your children watch on TV? That's the example right there. I mean, can we take some calls? The lights have been going
For sure.
a while,
Yes,
though.
please. Yes.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Morning
Good
to
morning, Minerva. Great show, great
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
But here's what,
Thank you.
we ready to vote, eh? I don't want to hear about these men. Trust me, we're ready to vote. Our minds has been made up. The young people are ready to vote. So we're not blind as to what Stephenson King did. We know the fact. Right now, blue and red is one party. So here's what. We are ready to vote. We not listen. Right now, I don't want to hear these people. I just want us to encourage our people to go out 6 o'clock on the dot. And when you check the line, only Flabo supporters. Let SLP get a space 5 to 6 to vote. But we want our people to come out in large numbers. The same way we have motorcade in large numbers, we need to be on the line from 6 o'clock in the morning to come out and vote.
Absolutely, caller.
Okay,
Well said.
so right now it is clear. We are the government of the day. We are the chosen party. We are going to show this in the ballot box. Okay?
Well said, caller.
Thank you very much,
That's
caller.
it. So let's just remain focused. Let's get our people out to vote. Let's just continue to tell them, come out, come out, come out on election day. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you, caller.
Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
so much.
4560931. We won't be taking calls via WhatsApp this morning because, as you know, Minerva is on. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert. How are you
sir.
this morning?
I'm doing good. Talk to me.
Can I get 5 minutes?
Well, let's make it worth it.
Okay, I'll try. Norbert, I'm calling this morning
I can't hear the
to
caller.
clear the air with regard to Michael Allen Shastley becoming leader of the United Workers' Party. Allen Shastley didn't have any intention of even challenging or vying for the leadership of the United Workers' Party. First of all, that opportunity came because King himself made it possible. It was people like myself and others who approached Allen, right? Especially me, when I realized that the economy was getting into a drought, okay? And Stevenson wasn't doing a damn thing, sitting on his behind, doing nothing. I made a call to Ezekiel because from the time Stevenson brought back Richard, kept Richard and brought back Rufus, right, he stopped taking my call. And during those times, right, the only two people that I had access to having discussion with and what have you was Ezekiel Joseph and Michael Allen Shastley. And as two golfers, Alan and myself spent a lot of time on the golf club, so we get at the golf course. So we got to talk a lot about what is happening to our country. So I decided to call Ezekiel and Alan and find out what they were thinking. Ezekiel and myself had 2 meetings, right? And when I went to find Alan, I found out that he was out of the country. So I went to see his father and asked his father to convey to him that I'd like to have a word with him when he gets back. So said and so, this is what happened. The young man came to see me. We talked about, I told him what I was thinking about and suggested maybe he should try to take up the leadership of the party because Ezekiel told me that he would prefer to be the chairman of the party during that period to rebuild the party and let someone else vie for the party leadership. When I told him so, he says, "Do you think the people might accept me?" I said, "Alan, if you don't try, you wouldn't know." Okay? He went now and had a meeting with Ezekiel, and they call in Guy Joseph and Asim Joseph, and the people who were more interested in getting St. Lucia back on the road. And when they got their stuff together, right, I was called and asked to be the treasurer for the party. Okay? I work with the party. I campaign with Alan. And everything that this prime minister has done for the country, right, is what we planned very early, even before he got the leadership of the party. Okay? The two of the people, no, one especially, who is out there joining with Stevenson King, right, which is Claudius. Claudius was part of
you're talking about Claudius Preville.
Yes,
right.
Claudius Preville. He was part of the planning, right? We had already sort of set aside Claudius to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs because of his knowledge out there, okay? Claudius and I was on the phone all the time, emailing each other. When he said we talk, when he's not here, we email and stuff like that.
Well, caller, hold on one second there. A lot of what you're saying there cannot be verified at this time, so I want you to...
I know, right. But then maybe I could pull up stuff and show it. Claudius himself can come out and say, yes, he knows that person, right? I am not making a story.
Well, I don't...
Okay?
Caller, hold on a second.
Yes.
Hold on one second there. When you make statements... Mm-hmm. and the individuals are not available to verify or to confirm or deny what is being said about them,
right.
I like to be very circumspect in allowing too much latitude along those lines.
I agree. I know you like that. Yes. So, may I continue?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, whatever Claudius is out there saying, right, it's only because these people believe by joining up with ganging up against Alan with Stevenson King will help the position further down the road in the political arena. All they are doing is hurting themselves because the things that they are saying are not true. Okay? This man, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, did not try to force his way to remove King from the leadership and so that he would get it. The party has a constitution. It says if a leader takes you took the party to an election and he loses, he has to resign and step down immediately, right? But he has the privilege also to throw his hat back in the ring and let the General Council decide and the people in general who they want to lead them at the next general election. That's what it says. So nobody took anything away from Stevenson. Stevenson lost the election because he didn't listen to wisdom. Okay? Had he terminated that Richard, left Rufus where he was out there, that Sir John had already fired him twice. We would have won the election. And Stevenson probably today would still be Prime Minister.
Be totally towed.
Yes. So why is he out there? Well, I heard you guys talk, everybody called and had made a lot of sense. Why is he out there blaming somebody for something he did to himself? He did it to himself, right? He just, like I heard Guy said last night, he says yes to everybody. He said yes to me. He came to my house and he said yes to me. Yes, 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 yes. That was Sunday evening about 7:30 in the evening. Monday, 12 o'clock, I am waiting for breaking news that he has done what he had said yes to, only to find out he reinstated everybody. So why now he wants to blame people, and he have trying to make people out there believe that he was trampled over by Alan Shasley or whoever and Guy Joseph. No, he trampled himself. So I am talking to the people of Castries North. Stevenson King wasn't trampled over by anyone or disrespected by anyone. I could go further to tell you that soon after Alan won the leadership of the party, there were people in the party who was calling to remove Stevenson from his position in the cabinet in the House as opposition leader. And Alan Michael Shasta said no. Okay, as long as he is doing the party's bidding in the House, he will stay there until we found out that he was going the other way. Kenny was beginning to, according to you, wipe his face, whatever, gave him thing to drink. He wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. He wasn't defending the party. That is why he was removed by the General Council. It is not Alan Shasta who removed him. Because long before, people, I'm telling you, very early was asking to remove the man. And he said no. So how could you tell me Alan Shasta disrespect you? Guy Joseph disrespect you? Okay?
Caller, up to this point, in all of this, and people repeating the same nonsense over and over and over, and I have not, up to this moment, heard one instance or heard the articulation of one incident where he was disrespected. I'm still waiting.
Yes, because he knows he's lying. He's lying. He's somebody you can tell by his behavior, right? The man is insecure. And he's like a child crying out, oh, you see what they did to me, you see what they did. No one did anything to you. You didn't do due diligence. And this is why you find yourself where you are. And this is the constitution of the party says so. You lost, you have to resign. Okay? You could throw your hat back in the ring, but that is the people's decision whether they would like you to lead them again.
That's right. That's simple. This is simple.
Okay? Now, but do you know when we started canvassing for Alan, there are people in the constituency group who didn't know the constituent of the party. They didn't know the constitution of the party. I had to go and make copies as treasurer for the party, make copies of the constitution and hand to every constituents leader. I said, read the constitution, because some of them were, oh, well, you know, Mr. King was with us for long, but I will look. I said, no, it has nothing to do with our feelings. It has to do with the constitution.
That's right.
Read it.
That's right.
Okay? And that is how people started moving over and coming towards Alan and coming towards Alan. And at the end of the day, okay, the constituency groups came in and they voted him as party leader. And he has done a great job. I heard Minova said this morning, what does the Labour Party have to show for the 5 years, the previous 5 years, the last 5 years? Okay, I'm not going 15 years ago. Show me something on the ground.
30 seconds.
Yes. Show me something on the ground that the Labour Party has done for St. Lucia that has moved the needle, where young people or more young people have been able to develop themselves in this country, like what happened during the mid-80s and 90s under John Compton, and what is happening right now.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Have a great day. All right, let's get back on track a little more accurately now in dealing with the situation with the king snake. You know, indicting yourself, and indicting yourself even further by saying that they were even here in 2011, in tying yourself to the same thing that you're saying in a negative light that this guy, UWP, is doing now. And even worse, saying that Cambridge Analytica was here in 2011 when you were leader and prime minister, and even saying, well, the record is there, that you lost. Dismally, you lost. So what sense, if you want to attribute anything to Cambridge Analytica, what was the benefit to Cambridge Analytica if they couldn't win for you? So I don't think you should be worried about them now if they were here. And the fact is that they can't be here now, and they could not be paid by the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, as you were stating, because Cambridge Analytica does not exist anymore. They went defunct in 2018. It's online, last month. You know, I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's how you come in.
Even in jail, I know. Right? People thinking things.
Let me tell you something, Minova. Let me tell you something. You see, at 7:39 in the morning, don't mention my name again.
I think you need to be.
That's Papi Show, man.
You still have water in the tank. You still have water
Boy,
there?
we need a drum. Need a drum. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Put more water. Not a damn seat for them, folks. I'm tired of the foolishness. St. Lucians are waiting to exhale. Monday is too far away. Waiting to exhale. Not a damn seat for them. That's what I say. Wipe them out.
This election was like war among them party. When I was more than sure they win already. Hudson Phillips said, tell them that's the last of P&M. But when the rest complete, is he who end up without a seat.
Not a damn seat for them.
Mama, that's what Chambers said.
Not a damn seat for them.
Not a single seat on election day.
Not a damn seat for them.
How they lose, they can't understand.
Not a damn seat for them.
They calling Chambers a Obia man.
Not a damn seat for them. That's what I'm calling wipe out at the polls. Good morning, you on the air. Let's keep it real. Okay, that person's a little quick on the draw there. Didn't stay long enough. 456-0931. 456-0931. So the gist of it all on today, Friday, 3 days before elections, the weekend is here. The record is what speaks. The record of performance, the record of accomplishment, the policies that you see, the credibility of government to deliver.
Absolutely. Yep.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Minova.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Minova.
Good morning.
I have never been so excited to vote in my life. Never.
Wonderful.
I was going to vote in 2011, but I realized I couldn't vote because I would never vote him back into office because of his performance. And I did not vote. And the shame he brought to the country at Jazz, I did not vote. I was upset.
Cole, I was incensed about that. I don't care what anybody
I was
says.
upset for months.
I saw that from the States.
For the balance of the year and still, because the amount of, I have family over abroad, I have friends calling and find out, like,
joke.
You saw the video, you saw the video, to me that's your prime minister, to me that's your prime minister. Yo.
Caller, let me ask you a question. With all the nonsense explaining that was done, that this was all in fun and all of that, you think you will ever see the President of the United States ever have somebody jump over him on a stage like that? You think you will ever see the Queen of England or the Prime Minister of Canada or of any other country? I'll just put it like that. Have you ever seen anything like that?
That would never happen. That would never happen. And another thing, have you seen the video with Alva Baptist?
In
Labrie
Labrie?
going around trying to intimidate him?
I saw it. The Labrie people need to make a loud statement.
What is wrong with him, though?
Pressure, bust in the pipe.
And the first thing, remember the lady from Labrie called and she said, like, when they asked him what have he done, he mentioned roads.
Yep.
And in that same video, you mentioned in roads again.
Yep.
But
caller, people do it roads, so why is he talking about roads?
But that's what I'm saying. You have no shame. You're going to repeat it over and over when they ask you. Yet still you're saying people not eating roads. The people of St. Lucia have been listening, How you're going to stop the project? The amount of people that working on the road, that working in Ojo labs, you're going to stop and investigate, so, which means no bread not coming in. It's a good thing. The youth are listening, and then they're going to be the ones to put them, to keep them out, because they're not in, keep them out. And I cannot wait for Monday so I can vote. I'll be there by the nation.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks for keeping it real.
Thank you, caller.
4560931 is the number in the studio. We have a few messages, so might as well get into that now. Let me start on this one. Good morning, Norbert and Minerva. It is a sad situation for the people of St. Lucia and the country when today Philip Pierre and the SLP, without shame, can align themselves with Richard Frederick in a desperate accommodation they call strategic space. Between 2006 to 2011, Kenny Anthony and the SLP sold Richard Frederick as the most dangerous thing to happen in our politics and persisted with the most dangerous of criminal allegations, insinuations, directly and indirectly against Frederick. Frederick replied with scathing attacks on the SLP, including personal ones against Kenny Anthony. A liar and deceiver, Richard labeled Kenny, accusing him of selling out our seabed. Richard and Kenny's "you know what I know that you know what I know" famous exchange is today still unexplained. But we know in a free and separate instance, Kenny had said he would want no drug baron in his cabinet. So who might he have been referring to? Richard has held the SLP responsible for him losing his diplomatic and personal US visas, a serious loss to himself. The SLP ran a massive 2011 elections campaign against Richard Frederick, then in the UWP, for which the UWP paid the heavy price of an elections loss. At that time, the SLP were even saying that US Marshals were on island to arrest Richard Frederick. I remember that very well. Today, the SLP, like how after denigrating Von Lewis in the worst of ways and later accepting him, saying water under the bridge, they have turned completely around and embraced the same Richard Frederick in a desperate attempt to grab political power. Utter disrespect and a slap to the face of St. Lucians that the SLP should play such a cheap and dirty trick. But if St. Lucians accept that the real joke and heavy penalty will not be on the SLP, but on us, the SLP's obvious, desperate, and dangerous coalition of that magnitude is a dark arrangement shrouded in secret and risky deals, which we, the electorate, are totally ignorant of. If we allow that, sadly, the history and debacle of 1979 will be before us once again. When a man is prepared to sleep with a sworn enemy, it is up to right-thinking people to open their eyes. So Norbert and Minerva, what the SLP are asking St. Lucians for is blind faith and to accept whatever they would decide after an election. So who votes in the dark for what they don't know? History has shown us how Richard Frederick manipulated Stephenson King. He will totally manipulate a weak Philip Pierre. Kenny Anthony is now tired and just struggling along. Ernest Hilaire is wounded and vulnerable with Jufali and the Range Rover case. So who will be the king in the SLP? The chief architect will lay claim, and then the real fight will be between the US State Department and the cocktail government of St. Lucia. The people and country will be left to suffer in the turmoil. Whoa! Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Yes, Norbert, good morning, and
Morning,
good morning to Miss Minerva.
Morning.
Good morning.
Norbert, I want to just remind you that this morning
Yes.
voting has gotten underway with the police,
Uh-huh.
and the turnout appears to be quite encouraging.
Wow.
Quite a few officers turned out very early this morning.
Uh-huh.
I was one of the first persons to cast my ballot in my constituency, and so I'm thinking that as the day by many more officers will be turning out to vote. I also want to encourage those who may be hearing to come down to the police training academy to cast their votes, exercise their rights. So it is encouraging, and I'm expecting, that at the end of it all, the right government will be selected.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much for that.
Just wanted to pass on that information.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that update,
Thanks for
caller.
keeping it
Thank
real.
you. Yes, the
Have a
police are
great
voting
day.
today.
4560931, and we have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's turn it down, please. Turn
morning,
down.
Abbott.
Good morning.
And I tune in late. Which lady does the review?
It's Minerva Ward, the one and
Minerva.
only.
Oh, good morning as well. You
Good morning,
read
sir.
something there, boy. That's shaking.
Deep. It's deep.
Very deep. But I always thought that as well. Let me tell you something. That will bring a serious backlash to the Labour Party. And the people of St. Lucia will, when they lost the election, which they will, Philip J. Pierre will bear all the blame for this kind of strategy, they call it. And I call it dishonesty. That's not strategy. That is dishonesty.
That's not strategic space, it's dishonest space.
Yes, because you cannot tell me,
Well said.
cannot tell me that they have Patriot SLP that will not support that foolishness. You cannot tell me that you're not sending a candidate for Castries Central and Castries North, the two most important seats in the capital, and then you're telling me all kind of nonsense, and you there beating pan all around the place, call election.
Papi show.
I mean, who these fellas think they're tricking? Hello?
Yes.
But let me tell you quickly, I don't have much credit.
Yes.
You heard the news on HTS about Guy Joseph and Richard Frederick and Stephen Smith about that money thing?
Which money thing?
About they say Guy Joseph tried to bribe.
Caller, that's even more Papi show. And you're telling me...
No, I want to, before my money finish, I want to tell you something.
Okay.
I suspect HTS...
It finished. But you're telling me, caller, let's carry on, let's continue with that. That you were prime minister at the time, that you got a report of that. You say it's the same thing of weak leadership, and you didn't take action? You didn't carry out an investigation? What evidence was presented to you, and what did you do? Nada! So how am I supposed to believe that there's any credibility to that? How? In what way? Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This morning, because we are so close to election, I would like to read a Psalms, especially for all our followers.
Yeah, don't make it the whole Psalm. It's a short one, please.
And it's a prayer for protection.
Yes.
Yeah, let me, yes.
I hope it's not 2 pages
And
long.
it reads, listen to my word, O Lord, and hear my sight. Listen to my cry for help, my God and King. I pray to you, O Lord. You hear my voice in the morning, and at sunrise I offer my praise and wait for your answer. You are not a God who is pleased with wrongdoing. You allow no evil in your presence. You cannot stand the sight of proud men. You hate all wicked people and destroy all liars and despise violent, deceitful men. But because of your great love, I can come into your house. I can worship in your holy temple and bow down to you in reverence. Lord, I have so many enemies. Lead me to do your will. Make your ways plain for me to follow. What my enemies say can never be trusted. They only want to destroy. The words are flattering and smooth, but full of deadly deceit. Condemn and punish them, O God. May their own plot cause their ruin. Drive them out of your presence because of their many sins, and they rebel against you. But all who trust, all who find safety in the Lord, rejoice. They can always sing for joy. Protect those who loves you. But because of your great love, they are truly happy. Thank you, my brother. That's
Thank you
what
very
I
much,
want
sir.
to do.
Thank you,
That's the
caller. Thank
protection
you.
for all our supporters.
Thank you very much. Have a great
Thank you
day.
so much. We appreciate that.
4560931. 4560931. If you want to give me a ring-a-ling on the ting-a-ling. We have another message here. Let me read that. Good morning to you, Norbert and Minerva. It was a blessing seeing you on TV in Soufrière, Minerva. You were dynamic. Was wondering why
Thank
you were
you.
not a candidate in the upcoming elections. My girl, you were on fire. May God continue to bless you. From the family at Crestland, Soufrière, says Paula. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. You're on the air. Let's keep it
Hello,
real.
good morning, Norbert.
Morning. Yes.
You know, as I look and I listen, I realize that the guys knew what they were about. They
Oh,
had
yeah.
a good strategy. They had analytical approaches. They came in strong and everything. But you know what they didn't realize?
Yeah.
Flabo came out with a demolition crew of 93.1.
Ring the bell for that one,
That is the
Norbert.
demolition crew. 93.1. And the poor fellas now realize that.
But you know, caller, if it had been a pack of lies, it would not have been anyway. The fact is that the information that we
Information is
put
coming
out here is the
Wonderful.
truth,
Yes.
are the facts,
Yes.
is the evidence as it exists.
Yes.
And as they say, the truth will always prevail eventually.
True. So you see all, I call it all the political demolition crew. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for
caller.
keeping it real. Thank you very much. Let's get another message there. Let's see. Let's get this one here. What's this? Okay, I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to read it. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Norbert.
Good morning.
And good morning, Miss Minova.
Good morning.
Miss Minova, you was amazing that day before yesterday on the meeting of Herod. Oh, I would
Thank you.
I was very, very, very like to see you. You talk very,
Thank
very,
you.
very much. You are amazing lady.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate
I
that.
like that, Miss Minova. Oh, that
Thank
was
you.
amazing. That was great. But you see, for the voting, I cannot wait for Monday. We are
Oh, I can't wait either.
7. We are 6 people in the house, but I have 2 new again. I cannot wait for Monday.
Me too. I can't wait. I think Flubos are energized. I think we're ready. I think
Yes,
we can't wait.
yes,
We're going to be on
darling.
the
I
line
cannot wait
first
for
thing in
Monday.
the morning before the polling stations are open. I think Flubos are ready. Ready to go and
So
vote.
anyway, have a blessed day, and may continue with your
Thank you very
good
much.
job.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank you
day.
so much, caller.
Thank
I
you very
Yes,
much.
appreciate
darling.
your
Okay,
words. Thank you.
Mr.
Have a
Norbert?
wonderful,
Yes.
blessed day.
Thank you.
Okay, darling.
So I have a message here that had not been read before. Actually, it is from 2 days ago. So I will read it. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. I am impressed with what the Flabo government has done. It has always been a party for the people. I am hearing the truth about both SLP and the UWP. It is so clear, but I am so frightened because when I talk to my friends, colleagues, and family, to my surprise, they are all Labour supporters. And the common phrases they are using to me is that I am not living in St. Lucia and the government is not doing anything. I have only been out of St. Lucia for 4 years. I fearfully voted for King last election because of his games with the party. I fearfully, okay. To me, the United Worker Party has done great when they are in government. I would like to say that before Sky FM, no media in St. Lucia portrayed the UWP as what it was. I got fed up with that, and Sky and GVD is a dream come true. The truth is out there for everyone to see, I have recommended that they listen to GVD TV and Sky FM, but it seems that they are set to... I don't understand all that. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Norbert. Well, that's, yeah, the media houses in St. Lucia have always campaigned for the SLP. This is the strategy that the Labour Party talks about. Before Sky FM, we had no way of undoing the lies, and the damage would be done. Don't be surprised if we see the dead being interviewed on some of those stations. Sadly, so many people believe what they say. This is scary. Okay, next one. Okay. We have another call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Some advice I want to send out there for both political parties, the agents of those. The cutoff time point is 6 o'clock, sir.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now they said that they would have a police on the queue.
Yes. At 6 o'clock, a police officer will stand on the line behind the last person at 6 p.m.
Okay. No.
So once the person ahead of the police officer gets into vote or gets into the door, then that's it for the voting. So in essence, officially, voting ends at 6 p.m., but you could have somebody voting at 6:15 because they were already on the line at 6 p.m.
But what I want to observe is that the police don't allow compromise on the line.
Yeah, that they don't allow other people to get on.
Yeah,
okay.
As we do in the bank and also in supermarket, we like to compromise. So that election time is, they don't have time for that. So we have to check for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to publicize is the areas of voting in communities. A lot of people don't know exactly where are the. For example, I don't know if they would have it in the aquatic center.
But caller, I understand very well what you're saying, and it is important. Contact your representative, contact the constituency office, whatever party you belong to. Contact the constituency office, go to the different locations, the supermarkets, and wherever the lists are. That information will be there. But caller,
okay, I'll listen to you on there.
Okay, thank you very much. But you know, folks, it's just like hurricane season every year. Everybody knows that they need to find out where they need, and we constantly have this problem of people last minute. Kaku, we come see the fu.
No, but that's a fair question though, because some of the polling stations have changed, and the information, because I have been trying to find the information, and so that's a fair question. But people need to find where they're voting today. Up to yesterday, somebody was saying to me they were surprised where they're voting. So people need to check that voters list.
Okay, we have a caller. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Norbert. Good morning, Miss Minerva. Y'all are doing a great job. Keep it up. I want to thank you for edifying the nation, St. Lucia. St. Lucia, vote UWP for stability, progress, vision, leadership. Labour Party has nothing to offer but confusion, distraction. Get up, go and vote for progress. Don't stop the progress. Let's keep working it. So, Mr. Chasney and family and the entire team working with him, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the job well done, and I know that God is going to give you the strength to continue to do what you're doing. Go through the critics, walk through them. When they go low, you keep going higher. May God continue to bless this nation, St. Lucia. Go out and vote. UWP is it. Congratulations, UWP. We on the winning line. Look, Norbert, we ready to vote.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. You ready? You ready to vote? What time are you going out to vote?
Obviously. 5:30. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Welcome.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Because I'll be there from 5:30 myself.
Well, you know what, folks? Today, the police are going out to vote. And it's important to realize that the police have been at the forefront of this government's attention. And the police have benefited more under this administration than any other. The equipment, in fact, let's even go before the past. The dismal state of the police force, the state of the police stations, the outstations, the state of the vehicles, the state of police equipment, the state of the Marine unit. In fact, there was no state at all. It was a comatose state. None of the boats were operational. None. N-U-N, none. Did I spell that correctly, Minerva? None of the boats were working. The radar system was non-functional. What has this government done? Oh, the motorcycles? What was the state of the motorcycles? And what happened? In fact, one of the biggest contributors to the police force was none other than wife of the Prime Minister, Raquel Dubule Chastney.
Absolutely.
Who through her foundation, what's it? Make a what? Make it happen?
I'm not sure of the name.
Yes, make it
I'm not sure of
happen.
the name.
Make it happen. Outfitted police stations through her, let's use the word properly, in her philanthropy. Not imitation people who out there déclassés, insultants,
Exactly.
malmes, cons animaux, want to be referred to and get accolades for being a philanthropist.
Exactly.
You know, people with no
Yep,
respect.
Yep.
You know, no respect at all. Malmes, no example to people. And then there are those out there who want to gather around them and want to be so enamored by them. Disgusting individuals. But wife of the Prime Minister, Raquel Dubule Chastney, raised funds and made donations of toasters, of microwaves, of refrigerators, of furniture, of gym equipment to police stations around St. Lucia.
But no, but what have other first ladies in St. Lucia done? in
Nada.
St. Lucia?
Let's keep moving.
What I see? No.
Placeholders.
1 second.
Placeholders.
I see Mrs. King has come out. All of a sudden, I've never heard her voice in the last. Anytime her husband was in power, she's not done anything for the people of St. Lucia. But today she's found her voice. But what did she do when she was first lady of St. Lucia, or any other first lady?
I don't know.
Compared to our current first lady. Anyway, let's go back to what.
That's more than a first lady there right now. But you know, anyway. I guess it's up to individuals how they want to be involved because they were not elected into office. So let's just keep it real.
The point taken. I simply asked the question for the record.
Yeah.
The fact is they have done nothing for St. Lucia, and the fact is Raquel Dubule Chastney has done all of this for the police.
So I think the
says.
logical thing to the bar or the standard has been raised then. Now, when you look at a critical factor in all of this, in St. Lucia's national security, is the Marine unit, our Coast Guard, whatever you want to refer to them as. And knowing very well that a lot of illegal activity occurs on our waters. Backdoor, as we know it. We're not talking about burning flames backdoor. Backdoor immigration and emigration, especially with Martinique. Ask Sean Edward about that. He spoke about it seriously. About drugs in and out, via our coastal regions, via the little bays and ports and beaches around St. Lucia. Importation of contraband, of firearms, guns, illegally into St. Lucia. So having a police department, having our Coast Guard, our Marine unit, without functioning boats, I don't know how anybody, I don't know how the SLP administration expected them to police our waters and safeguard the people of St. Lucia. When this UWP government came in, when Alan Chasney and the UWP came in, they got the boats back in order. And in COVID, even when things were at the worst, this government found, what, $13 million to replace all of the engines on the boats. $13 million just per engine machine. Well, not that one. The radar was back in service in the north and the south. We live in the new age now. Well, radar's been around for a while, but it was in a state of disrepair. The CCTV cameras to assist the police, that they can identify number plates and that you can actually do a search just like you can with a search engine on number plates. Something happens up there in Grosley or in Viewfort or in wherever the cameras are located. And you can search the database for when or where that number plate was seen. Yes, that's what this government has done. Who did it? Who did it? It wasn't the mongoose in St. Lucia that did it. It wasn't the goats. It wasn't the cows. Giving the police the tools, the equipment that they need. And then, of course, it wasn't an accident. The disaster that was impacts, that was created, that was a child of the SLP, of Kenny Anthony and the SLP. Let's not forget that. Because of the politicization of the whole situation and the lack of firm action and standing up for St. Lucia, Kenny Anthony and the SLP allowed St. Lucia to descend into the depths of hell with the Leahy Law and the devastating effect it had upon our police force. Who was in office during that? Who came out on national TV in 2015 and revealed, who passed judgment in essence and compromised the whole impacts investigation? Who did that? Who had a DPP's office that was practically defunct, that was practically on crutches, without equipment, without personnel? Who can forget the ridiculous statements, utterly ridiculous statements that had been made by St. Lucia's then Minister of National Security? Who can forget that? The most ludicrous, nonsensical statements that were made about the evidence would not be handed over to the DPP at the time, who under the law is the one who's supposed to have been in receipt of the evidence from impacts. And saying on national radio, on RSL at the time, in an interview with Shelton Daniel, that if the DPP wanted to see the evidence, that he would make it available to her, bring it in a room under guard, and that after she examined the evidence, it would be removed from there. When the law says that that is supposed to be her purview, not yours, in direct contravention to the law. And we wonder why that whole impacts thing became such a disaster that it has been. Because of people who don't know what they're doing, who are politically motivated and inclined. Because the only conclusion that you can come to, in the inept manner in which this was handled, because of political interference. And when you go on national TV and radio addressing the nation, and you reveal parts of the impacts report, and then you come to conclusion being judge, jury, and executioner, making pronouncements when it is not your purview, and you want to talk about the separation of the judiciary and the executive and la 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 blah. Jokers, failures, waste of time. And you want to come back here, you want the reins of power again? You want to mash up St. Lucia? You ain't mash it up enough? I mean, the choice is clear for the people of St. Lucia. The choice is clear. And I have absolutely no doubt that the police, by and large, today, will send a loud and clear message of who they really believe has been working in their interest.
Absolutely.
Talk about, for the first time in the history of one of the oldest police forces in the world, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, that our police officers have insurance that if they're injured, if they're maimed, if they die
Absolutely.
on the job, that their family is taken care of. That if they're injured on the job, that is compensation for that injury.
Absolutely.
Is that not a government that is truly concerned about our police officers?
Absolutely.
Is that not a government that is forward thinking, that cares not only about the police, but about the people of St. Lucia? That a wife, that a loved one, that a child, that a relative does not have to worry about being taken care of, about what the future holds if that police officer is the sole breadwinner in the household?
Yeah. Yeah.
That their children have something, that some semblance of an education in the loss of a loved one in the police force will be there for them? And usually, if you have a police officer in the household, that is the larger or the largest breadwinner in the household. And that the loss of a police officer in a household can spell devastation for a family, hard times, promotions in the police force, never before the number of promotions that we've seen. Is this not a government that cares? Is this not a government that facilitates our police force, our police officers, in being able to execute the duties that they are required to perform? Unprecedented money has been spent on the police force. Say it ain't so. I challenge anyone to say that. And bring the evidence. Don't come and talk nonsense. And now, with the Herculean task that this government has undertaken in dealing with the whole impacts, disaster, the whole impacts disaster that was made into the disaster that it has been by the SLP and Kenny Anthony. No doubt about that. They have fumbled and befuddled and made a mess of it, to the detriment of St. Lucia, to the detriment of our police officers. And having wallowed in that for so many years, you tell me now you want to pay your cheap, dirty, stinking politics. When the US ambassador did not write a letter, did not make a phone call, not in a communique, but flew to St. Lucia to announce that the US is pleased, in large part, with the work that this government has done in resolving the issues relating to the imposition of the Leahy Law sanctions against the police force. What I can say is that Kenny Anthony and the SLP were unable to get those lifted. That's the facts. You can talk all the politics and spin and weave and bob all you want. Those are the facts. On one hand, you have the SLP management of that disaster, and on the other hand, you have what has transpired with this UWP and what the results have been. It may not be perfect, it may not be the complete resolution, but it has put St. Lucia and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force in a much better state than we were.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when this government, in the worst of times, had to find $13 million to refit all of the police boats with new engines, if we had not had the Leahy Law sanctions on us, those boat engines would have been paid for by the US. Say it and so. And that $13 million could have done and could have gone to other much needed services in St. Lucia. Say it and so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't come with your fluff and bluff, with your bullshit principles, the 3B's principles. Bullshit baffles brains. This is keeping it real here, and I'm keeping it real with you. This morning, the fact of the matter is that the SLP, in their term of office, well, the numbers spoke for themselves, performed dismally, at best, dismally. And all we have to do is to compare in the worst of times. And we talk a lot about, oh, before COVID, 2016 to 2019. Forget about that. I think that the defining moment for the UWP administration under Alan Chasney was not the stellar performance before COVID. I think it's the stellar performance during COVID in the worst of times, which exemplifies the ability of this government to manage the affairs of state in the worst of times. And if you can, if you can do that in the worst of times, in taking St. Lucia out from what COVID had done to us, the significant reduction or loss of revenue of the government, and still be able to pay the salaries of civil servants, of still being able to service St. Lucia's debt, of still being able to provide services to St. Lucians, of still, in the heat of it all, moving to OKEU and transforming the old Victoria Hospital into a respiratory hospital to deal specifically with COVID. This darn government is fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And all the fluff and bluff.
Still being able to negotiate the payment of 3-month income support through the NIC for St. Lucians. Still being able to negotiate that.
All the fluff and bluff. All the nonsense that you can come up with.
And to keep the capital works projects going.
Well, there you go.
Because that stimulated the economy. And to keep all of that, the country running and the country going in the middle of COVID. And to ensure that money was flowing throughout the economy.
And to do all of that, to at least keep people working. With all the road projects, unprecedented, that the only response from the SLP in all of that for St. Lucia was to say that people don't eat roads, was to say cut back on the development of the Huanora International Airport redevelopment project. It's too big. Of opposing every single thing that the government did to pull St. Lucia out of the mess of COVID. That St. Lucia was not the only one. In fact, the entire planet, the whole world was suffering under COVID. But somehow they found every way to oppose every single thing so unashamedly that they contradicted themselves on multiple occasions. One moment shut down the country. The next moment open it up. One moment ban the sale of alcohol. When you open it up, it's something else. When you shut it down, it's something else. Every day, like hounds at your heels. Just for the sake of opposing. That's right. Open school, close school. Everything you can imagine. You name it, they said it. And you tell me the mantra of these guys out there, those jokers, those failures, was puffed out their chest and would say, patriots are patriots, our patrimony. You're a bunch of patriots. That's not how patriots behave. Instead of working with the government, instead of doing that, every manner to sabotage. Even in our House of Parliament, they found ways to sabotage, walk out, don't show up, to stifle and to stall legislation that was needed to protect the people of St. Lucia. You all have no shame and now want to present yourself. You know, I will take a page from Mr. Bermuda today. Those guys should not even be on the ballots, shameless as they are. And you left to wonder, in St. Lucia? Is it another place? You know, I remember a friend referring to it, and I say it, clown country. Clown country. You tell me that people who have criminal cases against them can put themselves up for political office? Are you serious? People who invade churches, regardless of whatever their personal circumstances were, can put themselves up to run in an elections? That people don't see, that people will make every excuse in the book for them? When you look at the judgment of these individuals, when you look at the people that come out of the woodwork to endorse people publicly, unashamedly, and that these people themselves don't even have the sensibility to say, you know what, thanks but no thanks. Thanks but no thanks. People who were vilified, appearing on the same station that took them down, that fought tooth and nail and did everything to sully their character, to sully their image, to make it almost impossible for them to walk the streets, for them to be involved in politics, to be in political office. People who call for them to resign, people who call for them to be fired, people who actually were at the forefront of trying to sabotage them, to damage their credibility, to damage their character, to damage any positive about them, will now call them and say that they have character, that they admire their character. I mean,
what a farce.
Seriously, a farce.
What a circus.
Circus of people, of a leader of a party, having been a minister of tourism, being dumped for a neophyte who never worked anywhere before, replacing you as Minister of Tourism, and now years later, having been the deputy for so long, will come unashamedly and be interviewed and say, in the midst of COVID, and wanting to be Prime Minister, wanting to refer to yourself and having others refer to you as the Prime Minister in waiting, no such thing anyway, but as the Prime Minister in waiting, and unashamedly saying to the world that you didn't realize how significant tourism was to the economy of St. Are we thinking in St. Lucia?
And this is the guy the Labour Party people want to put as Prime Minister?
I mean, the largest sector of St. Lucia's economy. And you don't know that?
Tourism. You don't know that. And this is the guy the Labour Party people want to have as the Prime Minister of St. Lucia? Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
Folks, let me tell you something.
Understand the significance of tourism.
Let me tell you something, folks. The choice is clear. The evidence is clear. The information is there. There is no other choice. There is no other choice for charting the course for St. Lucia right now. There's no other choice for building a new St. Lucia. There's no other choice for making the South the new frontier. No other choice. When you look at the development that has occurred in the South, You know, folks, the choice is clear. There's only one choice in St. Lucia right now. No coalition of misfits, no wannabes, no has-beens, no fake endorsements, no self-serving, self-seeking interests that if certain people get in, that they will benefit in some way. It's time to wash them out, brush them out, sweep them out. The only choice that is available, the only sensible choice, the only beneficial choice to St. Lucia, the proven choice in St. Lucia right now is Alan Chastney on the UWP. End of story. Maapali uncle.
Yep. Well said, Norbert. You should ring the bell for yourself.
You ring the bell over there. Ring your bell. We have a call. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning to the fabulous duo.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I understood, Norbert, that you brought Cambridge Analytica into St. Lucia.
Me? I may know a little thing with computers, mais c'est pas moi.
We all part of the flabo. and I mean I had a great laugh and talking about the tourism authority paid millions to them. My God, let me tell you something.
The ludicrousy of that, the absurdity of that statement by Stephenson King.
You mean, no, that's why I'm wondering, why should people in St. Lucia listen to Stephenson King? You know, that kind of desperation and those kind of lies. I mean, St. Lucians have had proof of the two different views on the airport, on HIA. You know, they've seen what he's saying now and what he did before.
Can you believe that?
No? We have had 5 budgets. We have had 5 budgets, and every time the speaker said all those in favor say aye. He said aye for all 5. You know, so I am trying to wonder the kind of things he's saying now together with his cohorts. He's failed the cohorts. Some of those who have only brought in failed investors in St. Lucia. I mean, crooks as investors into St. Lucia. They on his platform. Those who are like Agulu go far. Like there are no other people in the public service, but only them that have to get all the PS jobs. While the PS, resign and go elsewhere like Karilek. Go to Karilek. When the government came in office, come back there instead of giving somebody else a break. You know, after leaving the Ministry of Education, you know, applying for a job at SLASPA as the senior manager of HR. When that person was the chairperson of the HR division, the HR department, and saw what it was like, and being aided and abetted to get that job by the Cobra King. You know, I stay and I'm wondering, you know, these people, you have people like me who have never gone to court in St. Lucia.
Self-interest, selfish agenda.
You have people like me who have never gone to court in my life, and been brought to court for after Richard was dismissed in the party. I was general secretary. Okay, and the person who took us to court is no other than Mark Louis, you know, in favor of Richard Frederick. Well, you know, they lose the case. But the thing about it, as soon as 2016, the Cobra King came back into office, who was the first person he employed? The man who took his party to court was his attaché. And now that person is now his campaign manager. I want St. Lucians to open their eyes, open it wide, and see the self-interest. Self-interest. There's a certain contractor.
Selfish motives.
Yeah, there's a certain contractor who also approached Spider. Big money, hoping that Spider would bite and come. You see, that you have politicians and politicians, you know. Politicians and politicians. Spider didn't buy, they offered Spider money. Spider saw the light, and Spider is the one that's a patriot, not King. You know, and there's a contractor who said he's going to take out Alan Chastney by whatever means necessary. I'm sure you heard about that.
Whatever cost.
At whatever cost. Well, he's paying the cost. But there is one politician who did not take his money. So let St. Lucians open their eyes. They need to open their eyes and see it's all about self-interest. The
Absolutely.
man who has been treacherous to a party who made him. In fact, they call him the power of the party.
Yeah.
Treacherous to that party.
Not they.
What is he
No,
going-
not they. Philip J. Pierre referred to him as that. Parwin Flambeau.
Yeah, power Flabo. Well, he was there for a long time, so they can call him that. But you know, if he can do that to his party, what do you expect him to do to the people who voted in him, who he wants to vote him in? After taking the salary, after taking the taxpayers' money for 5 years, sitting there, enjoying it, enjoying the perks,
Right.
and now coming out and say he was always being marginalized. You know?
But caller, let me ask you a question. I was a little mystified this morning and since then. But in all of this that the King Snake has been saying, all these allegations, alligators about being marginalized, about being disrespected, about all of that corruption that he talks about, can I one instance where he has provided anything?
Nothing at all. And you know something, I know, but every man, you have a heart, man and woman have a heart. Okay? Even though you decide to be a hypocrite sometimes, every man have a heart. Can you sit with the fellas who have done you so much? You have a ex-prime minister who, when you put your hand out for him to shake, he turned his back. There are photos, there are videos to show that. You have a man who wanted to take you out of being prime minister. You know, you have. Come on, you're talking about. You know, fellas coming on the platform and talk about Sir John. Huh? You have Sir John who you never kept. Sir John fired Rufus twice. As soon as you came back, you brought him in. And you gave him more portfolios, and very important ones at that. After speaking to your executive and tell them you will not do it the following day, that's what you did.
And want to invoke the name of Sir John Compton now and Sapaflabo nonsense.
Boy, invoke the name of Sir John?
What did he say to his wife? Oh, get over it, Sir John is now dead?
A man who complained everywhere how Sir John's wife cursed him and did him this and did him that and did him that because she couldn't get her pension and all kind of thing, you know. But I don't know how the young people of St. Lucia can go and vote for Stevenson King, you know. And when I see a man like Mikey Pilgrim, you know, coming on platform to endorse. Come on, man. Come on.
You know what really got me? You know what really got me in there? It's not the endorsement per se, you know, but the hypocrisy of it all. Because he was being a mama hypocrite. Because he said that this is the first time that he's coming out. In his endorsement, he made the statement that Sir John called him and said that Stevenson King, blah, 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 wanted him to be the leader, whatever. That Stevenson, and then in his endorsement, that Stevenson King is humble, that he's this, that he's that, he's trustworthy, all of those things.
Okay.
But where was he? Hold on. Where was he when the SLP themselves launched their attack, heavy artillery against Stevenson King? Where was he to come out and say, hey, stop that? This is not who Stevenson King is.
Because he was on SLP. Let me tell you.
He didn't break his silence then.
Let me tell you something.
Mais après aujourd'hui,
you know who brought me into politics? Mikey Pilgrim brought me into politics. Mikey Pilgrim was supposed to have run for the SLP in 1987. I want you all to remember that in 1987, he told George Odlum he would run. He would run. Mikey Pilgrim turned back 2 weeks before the election and went and ran and joined the SLP, you know, to run for the SLP. That's when I came in, you know.
Hold on. Was SLP or PLP? Which one are you talking about?
He went and ran for the SLP in 87.
Okay.
And I went and run the PLP 2 weeks. I campaigned 2 weeks before the election. George had to fill me in. I filled in. And you know why I filled in? Because I know Mikey. I spoke to Mikey. I said, Mikey, supposing you don't want to run, and I run, would you give me your assistance? Oh, yeah, man, I have files of things I have to do in Cash yourself, and I'll pass it on to you. And when you heard a shout, he went on run for Labour Party. And I had to run to fill in his place, you know, and run for the PLP. And Steve and I worked to make sure we kept him out of office, you know. And we kept him out of office. Mikey's votes and my votes was more than Stevenson King's votes. Right? But Stevenson King got more votes than any one of the two of us individually. And that's how Mikey lose, you know. You know, and you must go back and remember those names like Gavin French of Frenwell and all these different people he brought in. A whole lot of failed investors who took St. Lucian for a ride. You must remember the Rushmell affair. No, these fellas want to come on. These fellas want to come out there and play like saints and say, "I hereby endorse a good man." How can he be a good man, me say?
Exactly.
How can he be a good man? When he never stuck to what Sir John did. Come on, man. They rent you, as I said, they rent the man prime minister. You know, it was rented. It was rented. He went and he lose the elections. St. Lucia, and if he had run as a leader in 2016, we would have lost even worse. And now you want to come out and talk, man. St. Lucians, do what you'll have to do with me. Do what you'll have to do with me.
Castries North.
Do what you'll have to do with Castries North. Think about the party. Think about the party has done so much in 5 years for St. Lucians, man. Look at the performance of the United Workers' Party vis-a-vis the SLP whenever they're in office. Look at from the time of Sir John. You go back as far as Louisville. Look at Sir John. Some of the young people may not know. But if they look at what happened within the last 5 years, they will see that how the communities, you know, and how the plans the government have and how things are happening. And there is no other choice but to vote the United Workers' Party. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. Well, the choice is clear, folks. I just got some photos here of Lattock Road, the police voting, the line on both sides of the highway up there. Police officers going to vote.
I got a message. Good morning. Remind people to check their names on the voters list. Just spoke with an officer and I confirmed it by checking the online platform, who informed me that his constituency has been changed without him being aware. His address actually says Mondador, but he is now supposed to vote in Castries Central. There is another name that I saw from Cedars Road, but is supposed to vote in Castries Central. So please, people need to check the list and not take it for granted that they know where they are supposed to vote.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert. Good morning,
Good morning.
Good morning.
If my memory serves me right, I think in 2011, Mikey Pilgrim did come out and speak against the United Workers' Party on the eve of the election. Do you remember that, Norbert?
Not quite.
Yeah, he did. Somebody maybe can call and confirm, because I remember him coming out on the eve of the election. A lot of people were and I think that he caused a stir. And he came out speaking against the corruption and that kind of stuff in the United Workers' Party. But it's just interesting to note that in 2016, he never came out and said, because if you're being honest with St. Lucians, you want to be fair, come out every time things are not right. He never came out in 2016 to say anything against the Labour Party. So it's just interesting to note that. And the reason why I'm calling is because I got a call from a young person yesterday, and she mentioned about the Cambridge Analytics. Now, I don't even know what that's about. The young people, I guess they know. And it's actually, we were laughing about it because I'm so happy Norbert brought up the information about the fact that the company has been closed since 2018. And it's actually causing a stir among young people. So I don't know how the party deals with stuff. I think the national office, the national campaign office should actually be dealing with that, because it's causing us to feel like she was like, kind of like, why are they here? I was like, who are they? Like, I don't know who it was. I was very happy with
You see, people have to make sense from nonsense. I mean, just a basic check.
That is the thing.
I will tell you, the company has been closed since 2018. Most of its principals are in jail. So for Stevenson King to come out with that nonsense, the Tourism St. Lucia Tourism Authority actually put out a press release stating that is not true. They have not funded Cambridge Analytica in any way, form, or fashion.
Nonsense.
So I mean, people have to think for themselves. There's so much nonsense, innuendo, fake news, false claims by the Labour Party and their operators and their independent Labour candidates that you have to make sense of nonsense and put on your thinking cap. So much baseless, useless allegations of corruption, unfounded, that are just what you say no about malmening people several?
Malmené o
I mean,
sevel,
people have to
man.
think.
Well,
Just
well, the
think for
thing is,
yourself.
the
Make sense
several.
of nonsense.
Well, the thing is, Minerva, the problem is a lot of people are listening and they're believing. That's the problem.
Yes,
So I think
I
that
agree.
fact
That
that
is a
Norbert
problem.
brought up this morning about the fact that the company is closed, that's huge. And the other thing I want to mention is the other thing that that young person was concerned about was, and she actually sent me a clip. They're also circulating that, and I don't know if that's true or not. I told her I don't believe that is true, that people will be fired from
Oh, I saw
August 1st
something. That's
if they
absolute nonsense.
People
That's,
be
they're spreading it. They are spreading it, especially among the young people, and they're saying that people will have to pay for their vaccines and that kind of stuff. It's going around.
Well, the Labour Party is very good at pushing propaganda. That is what
That
they
is the
do.
problem.
Again, in the
That's the
absence of
problem.
plans, of sensible leadership, in the absence of a record of performance, that is what the Labour Party does. They push propaganda, especially right before the election,
yeah.
to confuse people.
Even on
And they
elections day, look out for it.
repeat the propaganda until people believe. The Labour
But it's
Party,
fun.
you
It's
have
funny
to be
that
able to
that's what their
filter out that
strategy is,
noise.
though.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much,
But
caller.
I
Thank you
totally,
for
I
keeping it
hear you
real.
and I agree with you that we have to make sure that message does not sink in. That people have to listen to stations like
Yeah.
Sky FM
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to get the correct information.
But you know what? The final onslaught will begin this weekend, and you see elections day, they will push so much nonsense out there to mislead people, to confuse people, to tell you all kinds of nonsense. Just wait for it, folks. Nonsense about polling stations. Ektul kalte bagay. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning to all.
Good morning.
I hope you're going to have a show tomorrow morning since it's 2 days before election.
Mr. Ellis will be here.
Oh, Mr. Alex is going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
He's
man.
gonna be eating snakes tomorrow.
All right. Well, then I hope you remember to let the Castries North people know that a vote for King is a vote for Labour.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Thank you
Have a
very
good
much,
day.
caller. Thank you. Thanks for keeping it real.
Thank you.
Folks, I don't think there is a lack of information out there, you know. I think everybody has been exposed to the very same thing. But because of so much noise, and that has been the strategy, to overwhelm, to overpower, to outshout, I don't know if we're in the Roman era, with so much nonsense that you're confused. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert. Good
Morning.
morning, Minerva.
Good morning.
Good morning. This will be my last call before the election.
Ah,
And my plea, like I've always done before, is to appeal to the people, especially the young people of the South, who deserve better than what we got for that 16 years under Kenny Anthony as Prime Minister, with the words, "If you fought Prime Minister." We got a failure, we got a loser, we got a man with no vision. Today, we have a Prime Minister with a vision, with direction as to where he wants the South to go. And it has already begun. So to these young people who have already gotten the opportunity to get employment through this government, and it has been proven that a United Workers' Party government, the opportunities are always endless. So I am appealing to the young people of the South. Do the right thing, keep this government in power, and we will see the transformation of the South, and by extension, St. Lucia. To the truckers, those of you, your trucks were packed for years.
That's
and
right.
are now on the road for
That's
the last 5 years. And those of you who have imported trucks for the past 5 years, have imported trucks and are working, do not let your trucks be packed again. Your family, your brothers, those of you, the children, the uncles, the nenes, those of you who are truckers, these people bring the bread home. When the trucks are packed, nothing will be coming in. To the employees of Fresh Start, to the employees of Mega Construction, employees of Triple L Construction, to the employees of Skelly's Construction, do not allow these fellas to come in here, because you all will be out of a job. And it has been proven before, and it will happen again. So my people, on Monday, July 26th, re-elect the United Workers' Party for prosperity and a better solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping it real. You know, I want to hit on, because he brought it up and it jogged my memory there a little bit, the young people of the South. Those who are working at Ojo Labs or ITEL BPO. The young people who are working at the call centers, KM2. Remember all what was said. And I can tell you that I visited Ojo Labs and I've visited ITEL BPO, and now they're moving into their third building down there, ITEL BPO, with over 1,000 employees. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Hey, good morning, Norbert.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Minerva.
Good morning.
Great job on the platform of Herod a couple of nights ago.
Thank you.
Great job.
Caller, can we move on? Can we move on,
Yes.
caller? Can we move on?
Robert, you know when they say hindsight is 20/20, boy, that is really something true.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, in looking back at Mr. King's various presentations in the House over the last 5 years, there were several things, you know, that just, you know, it was just wow, you know.
Funny.
I remember there was a dispute between the two members, one on the opposite side, one on the thing. And Stephen King said, well, I could offer myself as a mediator. I mean, I just found that so strange that there's some, you know, thing, and instead of putting for your side, you offering yourself as a mediator. There was another instance with Guy Joseph, where Guy Joseph was in something again, and he was interviewed, and he said, well, if a minister is found wanting, then the law is supposed to take place. You know, I mean, there was so many of these little subtle things.
Yeah.
The last budget presentation, the final budget presentation, Stevenson King presentation was about half an hour. He just stood up, he read something, and he sat down. There were several other things whereby, you know, the SLP guys were just pummeling the guys, and there was nothing put up at all throughout the 5 years. And that video you showed there, Norbert, now, of the vote of no confidence. Did you notice his no? The no was muffled under his finger, and there was a look on his face. And who walked out after that vote of no confidence?
No, hold on, caller. You need to be a little more accurate. Who walked out on his own motion?
Yeah, but you're looking at it from that angle. But I'm looking at it from the angle that there seemed to have been a previous arrangement where he would have supported the thing.
How does it seem so?
Absolutely.
Because he walked out, because Philip Pierre was just so disappointed that he couldn't believe, because the look on his
I think you're jumping. I think you're stretching it.
The no was not a positive. All the other guys said no. Stevenson King had a muffled no and a sheepish look on his face. And then Philip Pierre just couldn't believe it. So he walked out. So
well, who knows what arrangement was made before?
Exactly.
Who knows what
So
deal
if you
was
look at
made?
that thing, I tell you hindsight,
apparently lots of
that guy
deals
has
have
been
been
planning
made,
this thing for a while.
Okay,
now.
caller, let me tell you something. Okay? Let me tell you something. A container arrived in St. Lucia in February.
Full of paraphernalia.
With paraphernalia
in blue.
In February. You listening to me?
I'm aware
February.
Of that. I am aware of that.
Okay, all right. So what do you think?
Container it came in. So
What do you think?
But that is what I'm telling you again. The evidence is clear that plot has been going on for some time, and to now come on a banner of being righteous, of being the good man,
Deceitful.
of being this, about principle, and you are in the house and you are tearing away at the foundation little by little
That made
in
you.
the house, and you are coming on a motion of principle, of patriotism. I mean, how can somebody live with themselves doing something like that? If Mr. King had left the party from, okay, let us say from year one you realize, boy, you're getting hit, you as a strong man, you stay there for a whole year, you try, and by the second year when you see, boy, you're just not getting through because you're seeing corruption, you're seeing this, you're seeing that, you get out and you say, boy, I am out of this thing, I have spoken, I have tried my best, the guys are not listening, these guys are going down the wrong road, I don't want to go down that road, I am getting out. Everybody would have had respect for you on that patriotism, on that principle, but not after 5 years of being inside, signing documents, standing up on motion of no confidence, saying yes, promoting all the policies of the government, and then on the eve of the election, you bail out, leaving the party with nobody to field. They have to go and now print all the paraphernalia over again because you were in it. You know, so you were trying to deal a super blow. So, I mean, where is the principle in that?
All right, caller.
Anyway.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, caller.
I want to read something here. Let me just look at this here. Let me just... Okay, what's going on here? Okay, let me read this here. Good morning, Mr. Williams and Miss Ward. The bottom line is that PJP has failed as a leader. After 5 years at the helm of the SLP, he cannot even field 17 candidates for a national election. Unheard of. That is an indictment on the leadership capabilities of Philip J. Pierre. Is this the person we want as Prime Minister of this country at this time? No. What is his leadership record? His business failed. He has never stood for anything or any principles during his long tenure in politics. When the Labour Party stalwarts realized they would never win an election under Philip J. Pierre, they created the strategy. How can you talk of a coalition before you contest the elections? Nonsense. PJP is not suitable as the PM of St. Lucia. It's all fluff and bluff. They can't fool St. Lucians again with their strategizing. And that's interesting, Minerva. How can you talk about a coalition and there's not even elections yet? Good morning.
Exactly.
Hello, good morning again,
You're on the air.
Robert.
Yes.
No, but I observed something last night.
What's
and
that? Where?
I'm noticing it a lot on the different political platforms. But I observed it last night. One of the things I need to tell you is to inform persons in, I guess, those persons who make the decisions that some of the songs that they sing, be careful. Be careful with the wording. Be careful with what they're saying. Because we getting young people. Young people are listening. And we are preparing the young people for the future. And the types of songs I heard, and the types of songs I'm hearing for the different political party rallies and so, it needs to be improved. It needs to be improved. Yes, you can how you say it, how would I say it? You can be happy for your party, but whatever you say, make sure it is in, good, how would I say it?
That all the songs, you see, where the DJ should be vetted.
It shouldn't be derogatory. It should be uplifting. And sometimes to me, a lot of those persons have no value. We need to improve on that because we are older than them and we know better. So that's the only thing I found. I find that our songs need to be improved. Not only us, but the other sides too. It needs to be improved. It needs to be uplifted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, caller.
Good morning.
Thank you for keeping track.
Thank you.
I think a lot of what passes here now is because we have become so desensitized to a lot of what we should be paying attention to that we don't even notice it has become so accepted. And I think the point that you make is a very good point. Very good point. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And I think even with whatever the meetings and anywhere else, that the DJs should not be given free rein to just play whatever they want. Number one, they're being paid for a service. And you have every right to dictate to them how you want your musical selection to go, how you want it to reflect upon you. And I think there should be a vetting of the music that some of these DJs play. Because when you really pay attention and listen to the words of those songs, very derogatory. And derogatory cannot be excused or passed or as entertainment, man. You have to maintain a certain standard for the things that you do, and I totally agree with you. Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Norbert.
Morning.
Good
morning.
Caller, oh no, I think it was a message you got about the polling stations, etc. And I would like to warn us, one of the strategies that the Labour Party used in 2011 was to scramble the names on the voters list.
Throw you all over the place.
Yes. And because all during the campaign, and I was intimately involved in the 2011 campaign, all during the campaign, we were stressing that people should come and verify where they were voting, and we did that. And when the final list came out, we did not bother because we had been doing it all along, only to find that on polling day, people, when they would stand on a line for hours, and when they get there, their name is not there. I don't know if you know Babuno at all, but people from Balata found themselves voting all at places like Gara and Fongaso. And this was one of the strategies that the Labour Party used. I don't know if it was used elsewhere, but it was definitely used in Babono. So we need to remind our people, now that the final list has come out, this final weekend, we need to go and verify all our voters, and ensure that they know where their names appear on the voters list. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for keeping
Thank you.
real. And it's 9:01. I haven't heard from the man Champagne yet, but Champagne in the morning is supposed to be starting at 9 o'clock. I don't know if he can't wake up this morning, a few late nights, and Champagne flat down platate. He mash up. Yeah. 456-0931 is the number to call if you want to give me a ring-a-ling on the ting-a-ling. And we have another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I read a voice note someone sent me.
You read it?
And
you listened to it?
I listened to a voice note that someone sent me, and I think it's very disturbing. It said about some lawyer, Natalie W., who is informing...
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Who is informing all marijuana smokers, those who cultivate it, those who are buying, that the government is now in parliament, that they are trying to...
the government is not in... Caller, hold on a second.
Yeah?
Parliament has been dissolved.
Okay, but, well, I don't know if it was before, a few weeks before, and I got it late.
In the courts, you mean?
But she is saying that the UWP party is trying to stop and have anyone can be arrested even if they buy a joint.
Okay, caller, hold on a second. Let me make something abundantly clear. The stupid, asinine nature of that voice note that's out there. The law in St. Lucia is still the law of St. Lucia. It has not changed. as far as illegal drugs are concerned. Number two, the person who put out that voice note is actually the person who is or who has initiated that lawsuit. That lawsuit will go nowhere. It's a waste of time. It's wasting people's time, and that's all there is to it. There's absolutely no merit to that voice note. There's no credibility to it because it is absolutely unsubstantiated, unfounded, and it is just designed, in my opinion, to create an atmosphere of unrest, to create an atmosphere for politics. That's all there is to it.
Exactly, but we need to speak to the youth out there because a lot of them who smoke marijuana might even believe it.
But caller, hold on a
that.
second. Caller,
So we
hold on
need
a
to
second.
inform them
Caller,
that it's not true.
hold on a second.
Mhm.
There's nothing to say that it's not true because drugs are still illegal in St. Lucia. It was never made legal. It was never made legal. So the government is not defending or fighting against anything that was done. Marijuana, cocaine, or any other illegal drugs are still illegal. There has been no change to the law in St. Lucia. However, there has been a cannabis commission, if I get the wording correctly, that has been in place, I think, for at least 2 years now, that has been in discussions with the government, and discussions and the move forward as far as cannabis is concerned is well advanced. This has been very public, but there has been no decision taken on any of that. So whatever is out there is totally misleading and inaccurate.
I think they sent it at this time just to be malicious.
Exactly.
I think it's a malicious voice note.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, caller.
Especially for the youth.
Thank you for keeping it real. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank
the man Champagne is in the studio.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Well, good
How are
morning
you,
to you.
sir?
You couldn't wake up this morning, man.
Boy, listen to me. I've been on the road for the last month, and it's really. I heard a call of yours called in earlier, and I know what
We
she
have a
was
call.
talking
Hold
about.
on,
Okay.
caller. Go ahead, Captain.
Okay, and I know what she was talking about in regards to the song last night. Don't know if you noticed it when one of the DJs came out there saying "One King, Two King."
Oh, yes,
we don't
yes,
want to
yes,
have that.
yes,
That is
yes.
ridiculous, you know. And I think that is what the caller was indicating.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, my brothers and my sisters. How are you all
morning.
doing there?
Doing good. Thank you very much.
Okay, I agree with the caller before. When our callers call, we may have seniors call, we may have disabled people calling. When they're not sure about their names on the list, can we assist them to probably call them back as far as see their names are on the list?
Mm-hmm.
They may not have a cell phone, they may not have credit on their phone, because they may be senior citizens, disabled as well. So can we
Good
assist
point,
them?
caller. Good point.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
caller.
That's a
Thank
good
you for
idea.
keeping
Yes.
it real.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hi, Minerva. Good morning. Sorry about the bad manners.
Saying good morning.
Don't forget we have our prayer for the nation coming up in a 15 minutes. I'm just letting you and Brother Norbert know.
Yeah, we're getting off. Well, I'm getting off right now.
I'm not running after you. I'm not chasing you guys.
No, I need to go. I need to get off.
Okay, then, Minerva, you can roll.
Yeah.
I'll just wrap it up with champagne here.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
So we're still on for later, not when I say that with Labry. When I need to explain that a little better because when I say that,
what's going on there?
No,
Are we
we're
still
supposed-
on for later?
No, I need to rephrase that, Minerva. Hello? Because people may get the wrong idea. So we're still going down the coast. That means meaning the Sky FM crew. All right, beautiful.
What's going on there? What's going on there?
I had to fix that because you know the way people think.
Newport North this evening.
Yes.
Labry this evening. Bridge Roselle this evening.
My goodness, you guys, I might
January South this evening.
lose a lot of weight.
Yes.
All right, thank
Well,
you.
all of my black pudding that you've been eating. All right, Minerva. Talk to you later.
So I'll see you later, Champagne.
All right,
Okay,
me and
bye.
the other guys, yes.
Bye.
Right.
Later. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, Champagne.
Yes, sir. Great show as always. Great show. But some of the concerns, the people would love for us to get something in regards to a video to show. Could you imagine people are still asking to show them how to vote?
Yeah, well, look
People
who's
still
here.
want to know how to vote. So we really need to do a lot of stuff on the weekend from tomorrow evening, Sunday, to make sure people really get to know how to really vote. And we want to just identify one symbol. What symbol is that? The ice cream.
But guess who's in the studio? The man ring the bell has arrived.
Bonjour.
You're on.
Bonjour, bonjour, Maman Flambeau. Est-ce que zot pawe? Pas New Jersey Ouest, pas New Jersey Ouest. Jeunesse Saint-Lucie. Make sure zot mettez quoi bon flambeau. Alors, monsieur Nobiek, monsieur Champagne. Comment vous passé sur zot?
Bien.
Okay.
You know what? I'll take one more call, Champagne.
Okay,
That's
good.
okay with you?
That's great.
Good morning, you're on the air. You're the final call. Keeping it real.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
You know, last night I enjoyed Janine show. Janine last night. It was a miss to me. And I was so happy to see how they greet her. And I was happy for the family too that was assisting her.
Yeah.
Oh, God is good. You know, when we get all these good people in our way, God will bless them. And God will take care of you, Janine. You are God's daughter. And God is good. God is good. Not to be afraid. You walk in the King's highway.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much.
And I must say something on that, Norbert. I need to say something on that. The way Miss Janine Girodi McIntyre, I love the attire. She looked really, really, really cool. Really, if I should use the word sexy. You think I could use the word sexy?
She looked very nice.
Very nice, very beautiful, very well poised, disciplined. And you know, there are various reasons why people vote. Just seeing Miss Janine last night looking so nice. I like the choice of word. I take the sexy out, not for radio. Being so nice last night. Someone just seen her say, you know what? Let me vote for that lady.
Yeah.
That lady looks very, very nice, and she spoke very well.
But you think we could take a call?
Take a call.
We're here.
My people are not here yet. My pastors.
Good morning, you're on the air. Let's keep it real.
Good morning, Mr. Champagne.
Good morning, darling.
I really enjoyed Miss Janine last night. She was very, very, very pretty, and her family was there with her. I enjoyed the show last night. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Champ.
Yes, darling. And that's the word I always use, beautiful. That is my word.
Yes, but you see them.
Go ahead, caller. Listen to the phone. You're listening to your radio.
I tell you all already, I cannot stay for Monday.
Cannot wait.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't wait.
Oh, Mr. Bradley. Oh, we are ready for
Bradley's
Mr.
great.
Bradley in Shrezed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Bradley's great.
Okay.
All right, have a good day.
Have a great day.
Yes, okay.
All right,
Okay,
beautiful.
bye-bye.
Yes, Miss Janine was really, really beautiful last night. Very nice, very well presented. Very nice lady.
Okay, folks, okay. That's the theme music in the background there, the final before elections, the morning edition of Keeping It Real. Thank you so much for joining me this morning with Minerva once again, right here on Sky FM. To all those of you who've been tuned in via the internet, whether on the live stream or whether you're on Facebook, on the GVD Facebook page, on the Sky FM Facebook page, or the Keeping It Real Facebook page, thank you so much for joining us. We will be keeping you up to date on what's happening with elections. And coming up, the man Champagne with Champagne in the Morning. And just to let you know, at 10 o'clock this morning, surprise, 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 Prime Minister Alan Shasney is going to be here. And I will be in here as well with the man Champagne, and we'll be working that with the whole prayer and everything in there. But thank you for joining me once again for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. Hope you have a wonderful day. 81 degrees in Castries, going up to a high today of 86 degrees. Stay safe, exercise your franchise. Don't forget today, police officers are voting so that they'll be ready and available for elections on Monday, the 26th day of July. Thank you once again. Have a great day. I'm Norbert Williams. Bye-bye and keep it real.
Child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, you have arrived.
Go placidly.
On report, Pasias, me could, Chapwell, Wale, me could village. We going and vote over there. Hola, me could not, you ready? Me could not, there we go, me could not. But we say, who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Me could not, who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. She give us roads with extension, that's a woman with a vision. New fields, parks and playgrounds, that's a woman with a vision. Preschool and community centers, that's a woman with a vision. Even gave us smart health centers. We voting at these elections. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Me could not. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. You could say you're for me and me could not. You could say you're for me and me could not. Où ça nous cabayo? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? Nous cabayo? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? Quel cabayo? C'est quoi? We voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Me could not. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. She give us roads with extension, that's a woman with a vision. New fields, parks and playgrounds, that's a woman with a vision. Preschool and community centers, that's a woman with a vision. Even gave us smart health centers. We voting at these elections. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Me could not. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. Who we voting for? We voting anti-girl for sure. C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? Quel cabayo? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? C'est quoi? Quel cabayo? C'est quoi?
I think he's a good leader. I think he's the best leader for the country. I do not see anybody else that can manage the country the way, especially in the pandemic. He did a tremendous job. I don't see another person that can run the country. His leadership skills is amazing. He's an amazing person. He's always in the community. I foresee that he'll stay for probably next 10 years. We'll see a difference in Lucia, for sure.
Gave us all hope simply by just walking in. that we should have surrendered right then. You had a vision for all in the community. Your massive project shook the earth under me.
This community center was in a very deplorable situation, and then we got assistance from our parliamentary rep, Mr. Dominic Fede, and he took the initiative to rebuild it into what it is today.
You could come here downstairs, you could have it for some parties, some events, you know, or a gathering or